evening and welcome to Low Cost Recipes. Do I sense something a little bit fishy going on around here? Yes, I do, because tonight is all about fish. What we've got here is some smoked haddock and a tin of medium red salmon. Tonight we're going to be making some fish cakes, two different types of fish cakes, salmon fish cakes and smoked haddock fish cakes, and we're also going to be making some fish pies. All of this is going to be made tonight but then frozen, so that whenever you fancy something a little bit fishy you can just dive into your freezer and go and hook it out. Okay? I'm not going to go too much into levels of ingredients tonight because that's all below the video. Okay? So I'm just going to throw all the ingredients together tonight, and then when you go ahead and use the recipes, all you need to do is go into the video and you'll find all the amounts of ingredients that you need. Okay? So what I'm going to start with is preparing the fish, okay? Because this is frozen haddock, bought from a supermarket at a very, very reasonable price. Mentioning no names, Aldi, okay? So all I'm going to do is take some lemon, throw it on top, a couple of pieces of lemon. I'm going to save this for later on. I've got a bit left over there. And then I'm going to throw in some onions over the top. Okay? Again, like my earlier video, I explained that these are frozen onions bought in a bag, or you could freeze them yourself. Obviously, pepper. Lots of pepper. This is a pepper mill, rainbow pepper mill. And some black pepper, ground black pepper, which I can't seem to get open. There we go. Go gently with it. There we go. Some garlic. Just a little, maybe a clove of garlic, crushed up. Okay. And just for colour, and I love it, I'm just going to throw a little bit of paprika in on top of there. Okay. And I'm going to throw some white wine in. This is all to taste really, however much you like. And fish always cooks really well in milk. So I'm going to throw some milk in. And what you'll find later is that the liquor of this can be used and incorporated completely into the fish pie. This is going to form the basis of the fish pie sauce, so none of this will go to waste. Okay, and I've got some butter here as well, so I'm going to put some butter in. Okay, and if my assistant could get me some salt, that would be great, because I've forgotten to bring the salt over. Thank you. Okay, so nice pinch of salt going in there as well, over the shoulder for good look. Okay, and that is basically it. Now what we're going to do, oh wait there, before I forget, my favourite herbs have to go in. You can put in whatever herbs you like, but I love oregano and I love basil, so I'm going to throw in a little bit of oregano, a little bit of basil, and maybe just another dash of milk for good look. There we go. And then, quite important, because you want to seal in the juices, you don't want it all to evaporate. Make sure that you seal this really, really well. And you put it in the oven at about gas mark 5 for about half an hour, but you'll know when it's done. You'll know when the fish is done because it'll just flake away. And then we'll move on to the next stage. Okay, so while your fish is cooking in the oven, boil some potatoes. I've boiled some already, and I'm just going to season them. You will need quite a lot of potatoes because these are going to be used to form the fish cakes, and they're also going to be used to top the fish pie. Okay, so I have my potatoes boiled, and what I'm going to do now is season them. Okay, so what I'm going to use is some extra mature or mature cheddar cheese. Just grab a handful, sprinkle it on top. Okay, as you see, I've got quite a lot of potatoes here. I do love potatoes, must be the Irish in me. Okay, so get some grated cheese in there. And I've got some parmesan here, which I think is just so nice. Or any strong Italian cheese is fine. Okay, and a nice amount of spring onion. I think spring onion in mashed potato is absolutely beautiful. So just some chopped, finely chopped spring onion. Okay, and some salt and some pepper. Okay, and this is what I really like. I really think it brings out the flavour of the cheese that you have in the potato. Just a pinch of nutmeg, I think, is absolutely beautiful in mashed potatoes. So I'm going to put some nutmeg in there. In fact, I'm going to put a little bit more in because I like it. Don't add it if you don't want to, but I love nutmeg, so I'm going to put some in. Okay, and then some milk, just maybe a tablespoon of milk, and some more butter, just a couple of chunks of butter there. Okay, and give this a good mash, and we'll be using this to top the fish pies and to make the fish cakes. Okay, so the fish is done now. As you can see, I've got lots and lots of juices all flowing around in there, and we'll be using that by putting it in to the fish mixture to create a lovely sauce. We'll be adding cream and all sorts in there. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. What you need to do at this point is take the fish out and flake it off, making sure that there's no bones left, so that all you're left with is just beautiful flakes of fish that are going to go into our fish pie. So I've checked for bones, and any little ones in there, I've taken them out. This fish was deboned anyway, so now I'm going to get rid of the lemons. That's the only thing really at this point that needs to be taken out. Okay, let's check. That's it. Just flake it apart. Make sure all your lemon's out of there, no bones. Okay, right, we're ready to go now to make the fish pie mixture. Okay, so I've got all my ingredients over here ready to go. Now what we're going to do is put together the fish mixture for the fish pie, which will be topped with the beautifully seasoned mashed potato that we prepared earlier. Okay, so that will be in this pan, and over this side what I'm going to do is prepare the fish cake base. Yeah, so over here we're going to be having the salmon, and over here the smoked haddock. Okay, so what I'll do first, I'm going to do the smoked haddock mixture. Okay, this takes literally a couple of minutes. All we need is some onion, okay, garlic, okay, some seasoning, salt and pepper. Okay. So that's sauteed down a little bit. Okay. This is such an easy recipe, really. You know, you don't need perfect measures of ingredients. You literally just throw in what is to your taste, whatever you like. Yeah. Okay. So next, I'm gonna put in the fish that we cooked earlier, still in the foil. I'm just gonna throw it in. And we've got all those beautiful juices. We've got so much flavour in there already, just from having oven cooked it. Okay, so let's get the temperature up. Obviously you can see I've got a bit of skin left on the fish there. You know, it really doesn't matter. It just makes it so much easier not to take the skin off after you've cooked it. You don't need to. Okay, so get that going. Okay. Reheat it well. Okay, now we're going to squeeze in some lemon. This is from the lemons that I chopped up earlier. There we go. Okay, and to make this creamy, you can add some flour at this point if you want to, but it's really not necessary. By the time we've added the other ingredients, it's going to be lovely and creamy anyway. Okay, so at this point, we'll add a dash of wine, just a little dash, don't need much. And let that bubble away, just for a minute or so. Okay, now earlier what I did was prepare some vegetables. These can be bought at an extremely reasonable price. From Aldi. Okay, you get 4 bags of ready prepared carrots, broccoli and sweet corn for £1.19. If you go to Morrison's or Tesco's or Sainsbury's, you're going to pay double that, whereas these are £1.19, and for something like this it's so easy. You know, you've done quite a lot of preparation already. The last thing you want to start doing is chopping up vegetables. However, if you've got some in the house, you know, you can use whatever you've got in your fridge at this point, whatever vegetables you've got left over. But I really like these, so I'm going to use just a couple of bags of these, and they do different varieties as well. So they've got bags of different vegetables. So this is what I've used. It's farm fresh, 4 seasons, frozen vegetables. But you can obviously use whatever vegetables you like. Okay, so I'm going to throw some vegetables in here now. I've also got some peas in there because I absolutely love peas. Okay. So as you can see, we're getting quite a nice meaty mixture. Okay. Obviously, follow the cooking instructions on these frozen vegetables first. They need to be microwaved for a couple of minutes before you throw them in here. Otherwise, they'll be pretty solid and frozen. I've done these in the microwave beforehand. Okay, now the next thing I like to add, instead of adding flour etc. to thicken it up, I just add some cheese. So I've got a mixture of parmesan and cheddar here. Okay, and I'm going to add some double cream. You can use single cream, double cream, you know, even milk, really doesn't matter, because all we're getting really going on here is a nice thick sauce. It's going to be so tasty. Okay, so let the cheese melt, and that will make it sort of a more fluid sauce. At this point, just go with what feels right. I'm thinking at this point that this is not quite creamy enough, so I've got two choices. I can add more cream, or I can go and grab some milk and throw some milk in on top of there, which will, you know, have the same effect. So let's just see how this is looking. Okay, get the temperature up a bit. I'm thinking we need a combination actually. We're going to go for a bit more cream. And some full fat milk. There we go. So just let this boil. Medium heat. And as you can see, that is a beautifully creamy sauce. And that is basically the base of your fish pie. Apart from one more thing to add, which I think really makes all of the difference, and that is 5 chopped up boiled eggs. Believe me, this is going to be wonderful. Throw those eggs in. Don't, you know, be quite gentle at this point, because we've got boiled eggs in there. We don't want them all to fall apart. Okay, and there we go. That is the base of our fish pies. Actually, I'm going to break these up a little bit because they're a little bit bulky. There we go. Okay, and not forgetting a few herbs in there. A little bit of my favourite oregano and basil, and another squeeze of lemon. You can add lemon, limes, it really doesn't matter, it all depends on, you know, what you like, what brings your taste buds alive. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just let that simmer, only for another couple of minutes, because everything's cooked anyway, you know. So I'm going to put that on a really low heat, and then I'm going to move on to my fish cake base. So while our smoked haddock mixture is simmering away, we're now going to make the base for the fish cakes. And basically what we're doing is using pretty much all the same ingredients, but all we're going to do at the end is mix it with potatoes before we coat it in flour, egg, and then breadcrumbs. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is what I did earlier, which is olive oil, the remainder of my onions, which I've been using all night, the garlic that's left over. Okay, we'll put some spring onion in here too. Okay, but we'll save a little bit for later on, because we're gonna save a bit so there's a bit of a crunch in the fish cake. Fresh spring onions. Okay, so just let that saute and soften for a couple of seconds. Get some seasoning in there, some salt, and pepper, a bit more. There we go. Okay, and it's all very easy really. You just literally at this point, you're just throwing it all in really. Okay, this is my tin of red salmon. You just literally drain it and throw it in. You could use tuna. you know, doesn't really matter what you're going to throw in there. Okay, but these fish cakes are going to taste amazing. Better than any shop bought fish cake, you know. And okay, the salmon did cost a little, but in certain shops, Home Bargains, for example, you can get like 4 tins of tuna at a very, very reasonable price. So, shop around. Who needs these big chain supermarkets? We don't. Really, really don't. Okay, so we've got our salmon in there, and now I'm going to throw in the rest of the vegetables left over. Okay. When this is combined with our mash earlier, they're just going to be amazing. When they've been fried in those beautiful breadcrumbs, you know, it's just going to be a taste sensation. Believe me, it really is. Okay, so now we'll add some cream. You can use single cream, double cream, doesn't matter. Okay. And then we'll add some cheddar, some parmesan. Okay. In fact, let's just throw all of that in there. Let's get these lovely rich fish cakes. These are going to be amazing. And obviously you could have a third pan going now. You could be making tuna fish cakes too. You know, it's up to you. Okay. Right then. So, I think we're pretty much ready to start constructing our dishes. We need to form our fish cakes with some mashed potato, get them into nice fish cake shapes and fry them, and then at that point either eat them or let them cool and then freeze them. And we're also going to be making our fish pies. Okay, we are ready to go. Right then, so we're ready to put these fish pies together. Just to mention, what we've used here tonight is about £2 worth of smoked haddock and half a dozen eggs. Yeah, so beyond that, the rest of it is, you know, as far as veg goes, you know, that can be just your veg that's left over from your Sunday dinner. You know, some breadcrumbs I'm going to use here, some potatoes, which obviously don't cost a lot, and just some cheese. So really and truly, hopefully, we'll see how it goes, but I'm hoping we're going to make at least 6 fish pies for about, I don't know, when you add all the cost of the ingredients together, I'm thinking about £4. Okay, so you can do the maths on that one. I might try and work it out and put it on the bottom of the video once I've uploaded it. So anyway, here we go. Let's make these nice fish pies. Okay, so just literally scoop it in. There we go. And you know, obviously, depending on, you know, when you're going to eat these, if you're going to have them for lunch, you might make them slightly smaller. If you're going to have them for dinner, make them bigger. If you know you've got people coming round, then you just put it in a big dish, you know. But I'm currently single, so I'm going to make individual fish pies. So already I've got 2 there, okay. And I'm being quite generous here actually with the portions. Let's see how many we can get to. And trust me, you will not be disappointed with the taste of this dish. Seriously. So I surpassed my own expectations and I made 8. I've put the mixture into 8 different foil trays. Now, once we've made these, you can cook them right away and then freeze them. But what I like to do is just top them with potato and freeze them at that point. and then when you actually take them out of the freezer, you can cook them from frozen or defrost and then cook. But basically it seems like a very fresh dish if you just put the mashed potato on now and freeze at this point. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead now and get these all topped with mashed potato. Okay, so we've topped our 8 fish pies with our lovely seasoned mashed potato with spring onions and salt and pepper and nutmeg and parmesan and mature cheddar. And now what we're going to do is top it with some just grated breadcrumbs. I use bread from Aldi, which is absolutely amazing. It's like £1 for this amazing brown bread. You're going to have to go and check it out. Anyway, I'm using that. Actually, how I created these breadcrumbs was to just take a slice of bread out of the freezer and grate it. And do you know what? It was so much easier to grate it from frozen than from fresh. It was just so easy. Anyway, so top it with some breadcrumbs and then add some mature cheddar. Okay, and now at this point I suggest what you should do is put some lids on like this. Okay, put a little label on to say what you've made. It's a fish pie and the date, and put it in your freezer, and know that whenever you really fancy something extremely tasty, all you need to do is dive into your freezer, grab one of these out, put it in your oven, and half an hour later at gas mark 5 you're going to have something that's so amazingly tasty and will taste far better than any fish pie you will ever buy from a supermarket and from many restaurants. There we go. Okay, so now we've made all those fish pies, totaling 8. Now we're going to make some fish cakes, and it's up to you now at this point. Guess how many do you think we're going to make? Let's find out. We've got our mixture that we made earlier with the red salmon and all the similar ingredients that went into the fish pie. We've got our mashed potato that topped our fish pie left over. We've got some breadcrumbs here. We've got some flour, some egg, and some very fine breadcrumbs, and that's to coat those 3 ingredients there. The flour, the egg, and those breadcrumbs are all to coat the fish cake and to make it super, super tasty. But I'll go into that aspect of it a little bit later. So here we go. We're gonna get our salmon mixture. Okay. Put it in here. And I'm hoping that our potato is also going to squeeze into this. If not, we're just going to have to throw it back into the pan. But I thought by putting it here then you could at least see what I was doing. So I'm throwing in the leftover mashed potato from earlier. Okay. And this is probably where you really need to get down and dirty a bit really. You're just going to have to use your fingers and mix it all in together so that you evenly distribute the fish mixture with potato. Obviously you could use a spoon at this point, but this is far easier and you're going to have to handle it anyway. You know, when you shape it and then coat it and fry it, so you know, there we go. So just keep mixing it together. We don't need to add any seasoning, we've done all of that earlier on. There we go. these fish cakes are going to be absolutely out of this world. Seriously, they're going to taste amazing. They really are. Okay, I'll keep mixing for a bit and I'll be back soon. Okay, so this is our first fish cake. I've just literally grabbed a lump of the mixture, played with it, formed it, and there we go. And all you do is coat it, first of all, in the flour that was on the plate earlier. Coat it. Then we go straight on to the egg. Make sure that the egg coats all of the fish cake. Okay. Yeah, that's covered. And then these breadcrumbs, okay, I need to tell you about my breadcrumbs. Basically, the way to make these breadcrumbs is to put about 6 slices of white bread into the oven by themselves on a baking tray for about 30 to 40 minutes on a gas mark 2 or 3, and then at the end of that time turn the oven off, let it cool, and you will find by the time you've done that the bread is completely dry, it's got no moisture in it. At that point you put it in a bag, a clear bag, and bash it with a rolling pin. And if there's anybody you're not quite happy with on that day in particular, think about them while you do it. It makes it so much easier. In fact, it makes it fun. Okay, so that's how you make your breadcrumbs. Okay, so I'm coating it in these breadcrumbs now. These breadcrumbs actually are extremely tasty. You use them for also chicken cordon bleu. Okay, and now just for some fun, I'm just going to use some fresh breadcrumbs on there too. You don't have to do this, but I just think it adds a little bit of texture. Okay, so now what you do is you keep going until you've run out of fish cake mixture. Okay? Okay, so we made 11 fish cakes in the end. At this point, it's up to you what you do with them. You can freeze them as they are and then take them out frozen and fry them from frozen, or defrost them, or cook them now and then freeze them and then reheat them in the oven. It's entirely up to you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of these and fry them now in some olive oil and butter so you can see the end product. Okay, so here I have some olive oil and a little bit of butter, and you need to get this to a medium heat, not a low heat, because what we need to happen is for the coating of the fish cake to get all lovely and crispy and golden. Okay, so I'm going to wait for this to warm up, and then I'm going to throw in a couple of my fish cakes. I'm going to freeze the rest actually. Okay, so once you start to see it bubble a little, just wait for the oil and butter to start to bubble, which I can see happening, and then grab a couple of fish cakes and put them in. And there we go. And this, you know, everything's cooked already. It's room temperature at this point, so these will take under 5 minutes to cook. So just leave them there for a while, and when you want to check them, just lift it up, see if it's golden brown underneath. If it is, then it's time to turn it over. Okay, so these have been frying now on a medium heat for a couple of minutes, literally, and I think they're ready to turn over. There we go. Okay, so just leave them for another couple of minutes now. Here it is, one of our 11 fish cakes, and don't forget we've also got, was it 8 or 9 fish pies, all for, I would say, the value of about £5. That's what we spent tonight on ingredients. Anyway, I'm going to slice into this now, just so you can see how it looks. It's absolutely beautiful, really, really nice. It's hot, it's tasty. Yeah, that is beautiful. That's going to be so nice.